Hi, I'm James Rollins, the author of Jake Ransom and the Skull King's Shadow. The story is about a brother and sister who are orphaned when their archaeologist parents vanished during a dig in Mexico. But the story opens 3 years later and a mysterious package arrives on their doorstep. No return address, no idea where it came from. But inside that package is the logbooks from their parents. And this leads basically to a search across strange lands and across time as these kids try to find out what happened to their parents. Well, the book started basically because I was assembling a cabinet of curiosities from my journeys around the world. And in there I have dinosaur eggs, I have got ammonite fossils, I've got even Tyrannosaurus teeth. And there's ancient artifacts, there's totems, things I collected from the four corners of the world. And I knew I wanted to set an adventure based upon that cabinet of curiosities. Now, most people may know me as James Rollins, the adult writer, but there's an old saying that basically says, whatever music you liked when you were 13, it's the music you like the rest of your life. And I think it is, applies to books too. What I was reading when I was 13, I still love today. I of course read Hardy Boys. I also love the Danny Dunn scientific adventures. But I also read the old serialized pulp novels, Doc Savage, The Shadow. I just love those old adventures. And basically, it's what I love to write today. I always tell people, I still think I'm a 13-year-old boy at heart. And, to write this novel was just basically, just really letting that 13-year-old boy out. One of the joys of writing this book also was writing Jake. Basically Jake is who I was as a kid. He's ever curious, slightly geeky, but he knows he's geeky, he just can't change it. I also love the relationship he has with his older sister. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, so I can very well relate to what Jake is going through. The arguments, the resentments, but ultimately the unshakable bond of family. When it comes to putting a hero into a book, Jake is definitely a hero. I of course love magic, I love a bit of weird science, and you're going to see this in this novel, but I also love the everyman hero. And this is the hero who has no superpowers, he has no cool gadgets like James Bond. Basically, he has to survive by his wits alone against all odds, against all challenges. And that's basically, Jake in a nutshell.